Sang.
Throughout the past few weeks, Sang and I have been coming up with a video consisting of various insights and information about the Melbourne hospitality industry given to us by industry professionals.
Through our interviews and surveys, we have gathered different opinions and thoughts about the hospitalities. They're given to us by two people who are currently working in hospitality industry. The professional work question about the rise of the concept that we have learned in the classroom.
The two of us would like to share this information that we gathered with you by showing you this video we made. Enjoy. Hi, my name is Ishira and I'm here to interview Tavisha today, who is currently a manager at the Elephant Corridor, which is a Sri Lankan and North Indian restaurant in Glen Waverley. Hi, Tavisha.
Hi.
So to start off, I'd like to know how long you have worked in the hospitality industry and how you like it so far.
So I've worked in this industry about 4 years, I'd say. I worked in an Italian restaurant, and now, as you said, I'm working at Elephant Corridor, so there's a little bit of difference as well. I've loved it so far. I've loved meeting new people, talking to them, building a relationship, and providing customer service and all about the industry basically. I'm in it.
That's great. So can you define hospitality in your own words? How would you describe it?
I would describe it as basically providing exceptional customer service, ensuring your customers are happy with the food, with the environment and the ambience and what they feel when they leave. Happy customers always a good thing, right? So I believe that's being hospitable, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So what do you think about the hospitality in Melbourne?
Melbourne has a really high standard of hospitality. I think wherever you go, you should be able to get some great customer service, but it also depends on where you dine in at, because you can go to like casual restaurants down to like really fine dining experiences as well. So I think, yeah, the hospitality you receive depends on where you dine in at.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. So you're from Sri Lanka, is that true?
I am, yes.
Yes. So what is your opinion on the hospitableness of Melbourne when compared to Sri Lanka?
So Sri Lanka is known for its hospitality. Compared to Melbourne, I think we need to improve in my personal experience. So again, like I said, the hospitality fluctuates in Sri Lanka as well, because there is like a range of restaurants that you can dine in at. But in terms of people providing hospitality, I think they need to improve to make sure the customer is happy and has a great experience.
Yeah, so do you think that Sri Lanka has a long way to go, or do you think...
I wouldn't say a long way to go, just because I believe there's so many more new restaurants and new hotel chains opening up, so I think they're training the staff pretty well. So I think, yeah, when people go to those places, they can get a pretty good service, just not up to the standard of Melbourne, I think, not yet.
Alright. So what is your opinion on gender equality in hospitality businesses in Melbourne?
At the moment, I think it's pretty equal, because women and men both have sort of equal opportunities for these kinds of jobs, or like whether that's waitressing or restaurant manager. But sometimes the customer can be a little bit more towards taking a man's side compared to a woman's. They would believe their opinion more over like a woman's opinion, I believe. Even though we're saying the exact same thing, it could come off a little bit wrong from their point of view, but I think it's pretty equal so far. Yeah, it's going great.
I just have one last question for you.
Sure.
As a worker for so far, like for 4 years, who do you think has more power, you, the worker or the customer?
That's a good question. I believe it's kind of equal, but I think the customer has a pretty good amount of power, just because the industry depends on them. So if they don't really come to your restaurant, then it's kind of downhill from there. So I think, yeah, they have quite a lot of power, but sometimes when you're dining in with us, we kind of have a little bit more power depending on the requests that you ask for, or things that you feel like you are entitled to have, but not really. But yeah, in that term, I think we sometimes have the power, but the customer generally has a bit more power than us, yeah.
Alright. Thank you, Tavisha. It's
That's
been
alright.
great getting those insights from you, and thank you very much.
No worries.
What do you think about the hospitality in Melbourne?
I think in Melbourne, hospitality is a very high standard compared to other states that I've been to, because Melbourne is gets considered as a like a food capital of Australia. So in terms of the cafe culture, which has an excellent sort of name for it, and also the food in Melbourne are pretty high standard compared to other states. So most people who actually come to Melbourne, they expect to be served good food and so good service, and then they enjoy immensely about all the like all the restaurants and cafe, all the food that actually provided in Melbourne. So I think the Melbourne are, like people say, art capital of Australia and also food capital of Australia. All the standards are pretty high and pretty consistently, you find good food every suburb, in every town, every corner of the street. So that's why I think it's got a bright future ahead.
What's your opinion on the hospitality of the Melbourne compared to your home country?
Oh, that's a very different. So my country is Vietnam. So in Vietnam, people actually provide with a smile, and also, they basically they do from the heart, but in Melbourne they do from the heart as well as professionalism. So meaning, whether they come, they greet you, and then they sit, and then in a hygiene manner. Not that they're not hygiene in another country, but in here is more like a set of rules and law people have to follow. So they got the authority that we have to respond to, which is the council, the health inspector, and so basically in other countries they have to, but they're not that so strong. So in terms of enforcing those rules, in here are very, have to be professional and have to be, greeted in a certain way. I mean, put it this way: if you don't give it to, the good service, people they vote on their feet, they just go away. So, but in Asian countries, it's really different. They just say, they provide you the food, and then you expect you to, don't make much complaint about it, even in a hygiene manner. So you eat it or you leave it, that's it. But in Melbourne it's different. You're held responsible for everything that you do, or anything that you put on a plate. You have to own that plate. So that is a difference between that. It's a huge difference.
Yep. What is your opinion on gender equality in hospitality business in Melbourne?
I think it's pretty much the same in hospitality, because basically it's all about server, right? So basically, like, waiter or waitress over here, it's all working on all the pay, all the equality in terms of work and all that. It's all about how how capable of a person. It's not about a gender. So basically, sometimes it depends on the person that how they provide a good service, and then they're most wanted workers ever. So it doesn't matter you are the gender or whoever they are. Just main thing is they're capable and they provide good service, and then actually the customer love them. So that's the main thing. It's not about gender at all. It's all about how you deal and how you serve people right. That's the whole thing. Yeah, the capable of a person, or willingness to serve, to please the customer. So that would be the valuable asset to any company. So regardless of your gender, your age, your race, or anything at all. That's what I think it is.
Yep. Can you define hospitality in your own word?
Well, hospitality basically just providing a good service and interact with the customer. So basically, you basically to please the customer as much as you can, and to make them feel comfortable and enjoy the experience that you provide. And if they leave happy, that means you've done your job very well. And they come back for you and they ask for your name again, that means you are succeeded. You basically you're number one. So that is all about hospitality. So you're basically serving the customer. So they come in, they get the full experience, the culture, the environment, the service, the food, the whole works together. And then if they leave happy, that means we've done our job. That's what hospitality is. You can't lack even one of those.
How long have you worked in hospitality industry?
20 years. I work in 20 years.
The managers or boss, who do you think like have more power than customers? Like,
that's a big question. Who has the most power? Well, look, I think ultimately the customer has the most power because customer, they are your boss. They are your, even, if the owner, they are the owner's boss. So, so even the workers, the manager, the supervisor, whoever it is, customers will be always on top because, they are the ultimately paying customers. So basically, everything is, everybody, all business actually creating the experience, the food, everything is actually based on a customer want or customer base or customer satisfaction. So ultimately, I think is the customer have all have the more power. Basically, they are customer. Customer always right, but not really always right. But of course, they have the most power. They don't come, you finish. So basically, customer has the ultimate power of anything.
and what are you providing in your business?
My business is a restaurant. So basically, I'm providing food, comfort, experience, like culturally, environmentally, and also, when they come to the restaurants, and then they can have a friendly business, which is like a family run business, so they can chit chat a little bit, and then they feel comfortable, like a necessity dining, so they come here to feel like they're coming home. And then also to get their stomach filled and basically to have a service and then go home happy. That's my main purpose of the business. That's the ultimate goal, nothing else.
Yep, thank you for interviewing.
No problem.
Yep.
In conclusion, hospitality trends have been changing over time and will keep changing in the future. Hence, businesses in the industry need to adapt and change to face the various opportunities and threats. Hospitality businesses in Melbourne has a high standard to maintain due to the various changing customer expectations and demands. The businesses in the industry which can cope up with these changes and demands will survive in the industry, while the businesses that cannot cope up will face many difficulties in the future.
Through our interviews, we have learned that both our participants has the similar views on hospitality industry in Melbourne. Hospitality business is very customer oriented, and customer has a big powers in the industries, because without the customers, that the business won't be surviving. Thus we learned although there is a rise of the cultural and traditional differences, but however the aspect of providing hospitality does not change.
We hope you enjoyed our video. Thank you.
Thank you.